There are two kinds of people who study the stars who should never be confused with each other. Astrologers use the stars to help people understand themselves. Russell Grant is one of the most famous, and he'll tell us his personal story in a moment. The other group are astronomers who study the stars scientifically in order to understand how the universe works. We'll see how you can become an astronomer later. And I'll give you a guide to the rest of tonight's BBC Learning Zone a little bit later. But first, Russell Grant.
My name is Russell Grant. You'd know me best as an astrologer, but that's not really what I am or who I am. It's something I enjoy doing. My main love is the history and heritage of this country and also the world. I love the world, humanitarian activities, and I'm not a Londoner. I'm from the county of Middlesex, which is why I'm in front of Staines Church in Middlesex. I first stepped into one of these at the age of 6, the Limelight, a place where I'm quite happy, although I like to be private too, doesn't anybody who's in the public eye. And I played the cat in Dick Whittington at the Village Hall in Harefield. Mum and Dad were in the film business. They both met at Pinewood Studios in Buckinghamshire. Dad worked on big blockbuster movies as a scenic designer, and my mum used to write out the contracts for the big stars that used to come there. So in a kind of way, this was somewhere that I was really happy, somewhere in a theatre, somewhere in the film world. So television was kind of my destiny. And I went to a drama school in Ruislip, again in Middlesex. It was a Daphne Davies school. And I got my first big breaks with George and Mildred, Fen Street Gang, Doctor in the House, Please Sir, all those things. So, of course, when it came for the time when I'd become an astrologer and the BBC wanted somebody who could be a performing astrologer, naturally, I fitted the bill. All that theatrical experience, all of those times where I would talk to the audience, so I was the natural choice for breakfast.
There's no need to look into the skies. Can't you see the stars shine in my eyes? I love you all. I really love you.
You'll feel fruity, refreshing and fascinating this weekend. It's time to start clearing out your life so that you are ready for these new cycles beginning. So, who knows what could happen this weekend.
No matter what sign you are, you're gonna be mine and you are the beat of the heart.
One of the first jobs I ever had was as a statistician. True, did no good in maths at school, but I became the Middlesex County Football Association's statistician. And this is one of the clubs, Staines Town Football Club. It's funny that I ended up as a statistician, but there again, all it was sort of goals for, goals against, you know, win, draw, lose. So you didn't have to be that brilliant, did you? But I was really, really good at geography. I was really good at history. I was really good at religious instruction and English literature. What's really funny about that is that I had a teacher at Harefield Secondary Modern School, which is where I went before I moved to a school called Abbotsfield in Hillingdon. But this particular teacher actually said, Russell's too flowery in his words and he does not have a command of the English language, which was odd because a year later I had an English teacher at the other school who said, Russell's command of the English language is commendable. He is so good, he knows exactly how to use sentences, and his words are so descriptive, they colour up and bring up a person's imagination. That's not a quote, it was something like that. But what I'm trying to say to you is, don't be put off because of what one teacher says isn't necessarily the same as what another teacher will say. I mean, I didn't get that good, believe me, in 6 months between one teacher and the other. I think he was jealous. People very often have folks, relatives, friends who they look up to, and the two people who really were so important in my life were both grandmothers. My grandmother Alice, she had Alzheimer's disease for about 9 years, and my mother and I looked after her along with two wonderful people in Northolt, and she eventually passed away about 2-3 years ago, and I spent the very first Christmas without her in this church, and it was a very painful experience to be without someone you love very much, but I found great comfort and succour in that place there. there, St Mary's, and it really helped me through a very difficult patch. I went on a real big downer, believe me. Then my other grandmother, my Nanny Lily, she passed away just this Easter, just a few months back, and in a strange kind of way, knowing that both my grandmothers were up there and looking upon me and guiding me and helping me, helped me to find myself again. I found the resolve to carry on. So from a downer with the death of one grandmother, the death of my second grandmother at Easter actually gave me the hope to carry on and be grateful for life and living. Putting your money where your mouth is something that I've just recently done, because astrology gave me the funds to do something that I really wanted to do historically. The title The Lord of Ashford in Middlesex came up for grabs, and it could have gone to America for £56,000, £50,000 or £60,000. But I decided that I wanted this, and with the help of the people in charge, I actually acquired the title for about £14,000 because I wanted to keep it in this country, and also I wanted to use it as the Lord of the Manor should do, and that is by helping the local community. And so I got the title. I became the Lord of Ashford in Staines in the county of Middlesex. That's the full title. It goes back 1500 years to King Offa. It was confirmed by King John, because just down the road from here in Staines was the Magna Carta business at Runnymede. And by having that title, I've encapsulated all the things that I truly believe in. But it was astrology that gave me the resources to be able to get the title itself. But now, this is the Lord of Ashford in the county of Middlesex now talking to you. Doff your hats if you want.
Russell Grant continues his story tomorrow night.
Venus, lovely Venus, the Miss World of the Zodiac, is moving from Taurus down to Gemini.